Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. First of all, I'm kind of amazed it's 9 o'clock, what, 10 o'clock, and you're here. I think this is great. 5D. What's with this 5D thing? I mean, with Avatar and what's been going on, we find ourselves still having a discussion about 3D. And here we are talking 5D. We're already talking about going beyond length, width, depth. When we start entering 4D, we start talking about the space-time dimension. And when we say 5D, we're literally talking about how transcendent can we get. Now, in just the little bit I've got to know some of you, in many respects, I feel like the choir is already assembling. You are here at FMX, but for the most part, what I've been hearing is that you are, in fact, that digital native generation. You are that interactive generation. And in fact, the very structure of this is almost antithetical to what we're doing. Because we're looking at technology as the means of empowering you to do what previously had been the domain of artistes. It is a democratization of creativity that is being enabled by technology. And I've been blessed over the last 12 years with the Entertainment Technology Center to finally see a generation coming along where you are much smarter than I am. And so I'm one of those old farts who's here to say, how do we empower you? Because my generation's done a pretty good job of screwing the world up. Why not turn it over to you? So as Tally mentioned, we've got a format here where the presenters are going to show you thoughts, 5 slides that represent their thinking. And we're going to have 1 minute. We're going to be very Italian futurists here. We're going to do synthesis. We're going to say, can you keep it to 1 minute, which I've already blown. And we're going to see our thoughts, and hopefully that will provide the ground of engagement. Because the one thing as a professor for 30 years is noticing that this hierarchy of the professor talking down to the students, that shit's got to stop. All right, that just has to stop. And so we want this engagement, so let's get started. And since I've got the mic, we're going to start with me.
Could we vote on that in the democratic spirit?
There is no. This democracy stuff, forget it. So let's go. All the world's a stage. I'm a theater person. My entire life has been the theater. And at one time, we were the wee merry band of players. We got to do something that most people wouldn't dare do, and that is take on the persona of someone else and live that other person's life for 2 or 3 hours. That's what you can do now. And you know, it seems very simple to say all the world's a stage, but the fact of the matter is, all the world is a stage inviting you to become a participant. That is what is glorious about what's happening now. And it might be easy to say that, but it's difficult to live it. It's like saying love. Have you tried it? It's difficult. World peace, difficult. All right. The other reality is there's no business without show business. We are living in a world where it is about money. Now, I grew up thinking that if I wanted to be an artist, I had to go hungry. That I had to make love transcend the fact that I wanted to do this for a living. That's one of the reasons why we founded the Entertainment Technology Center, because I actually think you should be able to create art and entertainment that other people will pay for. It's like I'm tired of being the begging artist. And so I think that the whole dynamic is important. The reason I have this slide here is that that's the California Raisin. The California Raisin was begun by Madison Avenue because they wanted to sell more raisins. They came up with this character. What happened? The sale of raisins went down. Why? Because they created a living creature. What this underscored was the anthropomorphic dynamic. We are all little gods. We are endowing inanimate objects with life. So the California Raisin was one of those things where, what am I supposed to do? Eat him? Eat his relatives? No, not in the least, because we are looking to endow things with life. Triumph of the gamer. All right? I left drama to go into computer science because of gamers. I don't play games. But I saw how you were reacting to games in the same way that I had reacted originally to the theater. And what I noticed was that the element of agency, that you being an active participant in games, was the Rubicon, that we had crossed over. Janet Murray, in her seminal work, Hamlet on the Holodeck, talks about the three foundational elements of interactivity. Immersion, something I'm going to talk about in much greater depth at 2 o'clock. Agency, your ability to have an impact on that world. And transformation, the ability to relive what in real life we cannot relive. I love this slide. I agree with Marshall McLuhan. Anyone who makes a distinction between entertainment and education doesn't know much about either. But I love it because there's a picture of when the ETC first got started. And it was Don Marinelli as the hippie, guitar-playing psycho freak, the drama person, with Randy Pausch, the geek. And we actually were reveling in our bifurcation. I was the artist, he was the geek. And it took a number of years for us to realize we wanted that to become an anachronism. Because you are artist and scientist together. And the greatest scientists have an artistic bent, and some of the greatest artists have a scientific bent. When we talk about right brain, left brain, I don't know about you, but both halves of that brain are in my one head. Let's connect them. And my last slide deals with arrogance. And it's the arrogance to think that we know how the world will use our technologies. Folks, it's taken me 30 years, 57 years on this planet to embrace my own ignorance. It is so freeing when a professor can sit there and say, you know what, I really don't know squat. And if anything, you have to find the joy in realizing that your presumptions are wrong. Here's a Maasai warrior who is living his way of life with a cell phone. He's teaching us how the technology becomes part of his existence. So in 5 minutes, that's the comportment, that's the ideology, that's the dynamism, I hope, that I bring to this gathering.